So number 14, where we left off on the other video, you want to prove that the two triangles are congruent. And with the second proof, we were missing an angle. So if we have angle C, side BC, angle F, side EF, it needs to go in order. So the other angle, it has to be angle, side, angle. Angle, side, angle. So our two angles, we need angle B to be congruent to angle E. And that is the other way that we can make those two triangles congruent. So we're going to get rid of some of this for the next one. Given the object, state how to transform the object to each image A, B, and C. So the object is the red one right here. This is your start. So how could I take the object and make it object A? Well, if you notice object A, we're thinking, is it a flip? Is it a turn? Or is it a slide? Well, it's not a slide. It didn't just get slid over into quadrant 1. Did it turn? Yeah, the shape did turn. And did it flip? It doesn't really look like a flip to me. So we're going to go with a turn. So this is a rotation here. And it would be, if we're going one quadrant to the right, that's clockwise, and it would be a 90 degrees clockwise. And we could check it with one of these points if we wanted to. So that point is negative 710 right here. That's negative 710. And if I get this point, that's the point 10. And then it is up 7. So that does make sense that it would be a rotation 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so object A to B, is that a slide, flip, or turn? In this case, it's not a flip over, it didn't turn, it just slid straight down. So I'm going to look at that same point, that negative 710, and how many do we have to go to get to that same point here, which is at, looks like negative 5, negative 6. So it is a translation. We would write that out, because a slide is a translation. Using the rule, xy becomes, well, 7. Notice it goes 2 to the right, so x plus 2, or you notice I add 2 to get to negative 5, and 10 to negative 6 goes down, and we could count all the way down if we wanted to. It goes down 16, so y minus 16. And then this last one, we have, I'm going to still look at those same 2 points though. Is this a slide? It's not a slide. Is it a turn? If it got turned down here, the longer part of this figure would be over here. So it's not a rotation, but it is a flip over. That shape did get flipped over, and we need to identify what did the shape flip over. So if you were to draw a line connecting the 2 points that we're looking at, and we see that that is just straight diagonal through each of those points. Then in the very middle of those two, so if we count diagonally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we keep coming in until we find the exact middle, it should be at -1, 4 right here. Should be right exactly in between those 2 points. So if it's diagonal going this way, then our line of reflection is diagonal going this way. And if that's the case, we have a slope of 1/1. So for this last one, we're going to say on to C, it's a reflection, because it's that flip over, and we flipped over the line y equals, it's got a slope of 1/1, so it's just 1x or x, and it goes through on the y-axis at 5, so x plus 5 would be the solution line for that one. So this was B, that one's A rotation, and then we got C. Number 16, 3 possible relationships between 2 triangles are shown. Congruence of the length of 2 sides and the angle between them. Congruence between the length of 2 sides and an angle not between them. Congruence of all 3 angles. Which relationship or relationships prove congruence of 2 triangles? So congruence, the length of 2 sides and the angle in between. So here's our 2 triangles, 2 sides, and the angle in between. So that does give us side, angle, side. So number 1 does work. I'm going to draw 2 more triangles. Congruence of the length of 2 sides and an angle not in between them. So it would be like this. So we got angle, side, side. Remember, that's not going to work for us. Angle, side, side. I'm not going to write that out in order because we know what that is. That one's not working. Number 3, congruence of all 3 angles. If all we have is the angles and we don't have sides, all we can say is that these 2 triangles are similar, but they may not be congruent because we may have a shape. The other triangle may be like this. Those are similar, but they are not congruent. So that does not prove congruence of the 2 triangles. So that one's out. So we know it is A, 1 only. Okay, 17, which statement shows that the 2 triangles are congruent? So we have to go through these each one by one and see what works, because we could have more than one answer. So if I draw out 2 triangles and it says X, Y, Z, and Q, R, S. And it says angle Y and R are congruent. Angle Z and S are congruent. And YZ is congruent to RS. So that does give angle, side, angle. So A will work. Then we do it again with the next statement. Angle X is congruent to Q. XY is congruent to QR. And YZ is congruent to RS. So notice that's angle, side, side. And we don't take that for congruence. Oh, no. So XZ and QS are congruent, XY and RQR and YZ and RS. So that's side, side, side. So C is also going to work. And the last one, angle Y to angle R, angle Z to angle S, and angle X to angle Q. The purple has only angles. So angle, angle, angle does not prove congruence. It only proves similarity. So that one is out. Number 18, given the function, that one is graphed. This is f of x right here. Perform the following transformation. Gx equals fx take away 3. So we're taking f and we're shifting it down 3 units. And if you take some of these points that are right through the grid, you can shift them down 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we know that it's not going to pass. It's going to come close to this line here at 1. So if we go 1, 2, 3, and that moves down, we're going to have a line that comes out like this, through those 2 points, and down. And it says write and graph the new equation. So Gx, the new line, is equal to what we had originally, but instead of plus 1, we went down 3. So 1 take away 3 is negative 2. And that's the new equation of g of x. Number 19, buying movie tickets online, you pay $6 convenience, $8.50 per ticket. The total charge, it gives us the equation. How will the graph of this function change if the convenience fee is raised to $10? So the convenience fee was 6 up here, and that's this number right here, 6. And if it's raised to $10, then we're going from 850x plus 6 to 850x plus 10. So the graph is shifting. F of x is shifting up 4 units.